Cheese has long been considered a comfort food. The creamy texture, the rich flavor, and that irresistible stretch when it melts perfectly on toast or pasta. But what many people don't realize is that behind the golden packaging of many popular cheese brands lies a disturbing truth about how far modern food manufacturing has drifted from natural nutrition. The hidden dangers behind popular cheese brands begin with the way they're made. What used to be a simple process involving fresh milk, cultures, and time has been replaced with industrial shortcuts, chemical additives, cost-saving ingredients designed to make cheese last longer on shelves rather than nourish your body. When you pick up a block or slice of cheese in most grocery stores today, you're not just buying milk solids, you're buying emulsifiers, preservatives, thickeners, and artificial colorants. These additives are meant to enhance texture, improve meltability, and keep cheese from spoiling, but they come at a price. Many of these substances interfere with the body's natural digestion and can cause inflammation over time. For instance, certain anti-caking agents used in shredded cheese can interfere with how your body absorbs nutrients. Some even contain traces of aluminum compounds, which have been linked to long-term health concerns when consumed in excess. Then there's the issue of milk sourcing. Most large cheese brands use milk from cows that are treated with artificial hormones to boost milk production. These hormones can remain present in the final dairy product, and when consumed regularly, they may disrupt the body's natural hormonal balance. Some studies suggest that growth hormones in milk can raise levels of insulin like growth factor 1 IGF-1T in humans, which has been associated with increased risks of certain health issues. On top of that, the cows used for mass production are often fed on genetically modified corn or soy instead of grass, which changes the quality of the milk itself. The fat composition becomes less healthy with fewer omega-3s and more inflammatory omega-6s, the opposite of what your body needs. Another hidden problem lies in the sodium content. Many processed cheese products are overloaded with salt to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. A single slice of some processed cheese brands can contain more sodium than an entire serving of fresh mozzarella or feta. High sodium intake can lead to water retention, bloating, and high blood pressure, and it forces your kidneys to work harder to filter excess minerals. Over time, this can contribute to kidney strain and cardiovascular problems, especially in people who consume cheese regularly. The addictive salty taste also makes people overeat without realizing it. And then comes the fat issue. While natural cheese contains healthy fats that help absorb vitamins and support cell function, processed cheese is often filled with hydrogenated oils and trans fats to improve texture and melt. These artificial fats are harmful to heart health and can raise LDL cholesterol levels while lowering HDL, the good cholesterol your body needs to stay balanced. The problem is that these fats are hidden under broad terms like vegetable oil or modified milk ingredients. So most consumers have no idea what they're eating. Artificial coloring is another red flag that hides in plain sight. Many yellow or orange cheeses use dyes such as annatto or even synthetic chemicals to create that cheddar-like appeal. While some colorings are natural, others can trigger allergic reactions or sensitivity in certain people. The visual appeal tricks consumers into believing the cheese is richer or more flavorful when, in reality, it's just more artificial. The worst part is that many of these processed cheese brands are marketed as healthy or family-friendly. Words like real cheese, natural, or made with milk are often printed in bold on packaging, misleading consumers who assume they're buying a wholesome product. Yet if you flip the package and look closely at the ingredients list, you'll often find more chemical names than actual food ingredients. This marketing deception has normalized processed cheese as an everyday food when it should be treated more like junk food. Something to enjoy rarely, if at all. Ultimately, the danger isn't in eating cheese itself, but in eating the wrong kind. What's supposed to be a simple, nutrient-rich food has been turned into a laboratory creation. The hidden dangers of popular cheese brands lie not in what you can see, but in what's quietly added behind the scenes. The preservatives, the synthetic fats, the hormones, the additives that slowly erode your body's balance while pretending to be natural nourishment. When you walk down the cheese aisle at your local grocery store, it's easy to assume that every shiny package is filled with real, wholesome cheese. But if you take a closer look, many of the best-selling brands are far from natural. These are highly processed products engineered to mimic cheese rather than embody it. The truth is, most of these brands prioritize convenience, profit, and shelf life over quality, and the result is a food that's a shadow of what real cheese is supposed to be. Understanding which brands to avoid can save your health from the silent damage that processed dairy can cause over time. One of the biggest offenders is Kraft singles. They've been a household name for decades, but the product isn't even legally considered cheese. It's a pasteurized processed cheese product. That label means it contains less than 51% actual cheese, the rest being emulsifiers, milk protein concentrate, salt, and artificial color. This combination gives Kraft singles their perfect melt and shiny surface, but it's far from real food. The high sodium and chemical stabilizers in every slice can strain your kidneys and increase blood pressure when consumed regularly. Velveeta is another brand that falls into the same category. Often advertised as the ultimate melting cheese for dips and mac and cheese, Velveeta is more of a laboratory experiment than a dairy product. It's made from whey milk protein, a mix of artificial preservatives and colorings designed to hold its glossy, soft texture. The problem is that Velveeta's high sodium and trans fat levels can contribute to heart disease and inflammation. What tastes creamy and rich for a few moments leaves your body processing artificial additives that were never meant to be consumed daily. Then there's great value shredded cheese from Walmart. The main issue here isn't flavor. It's the cellulose coating added to prevent clumping. While cellulose comes from plant fiber, in many industrial products it's derived from wood pulp. This ingredient might sound harmless, but it reduces the amount of real cheese you're getting and can make the texture dry and powdery. Over time, eating too many cellulose-coated foods can interfere with how your body digests fats and absorbs nutrients like calcium, which defeats the purpose of eating cheese for its nutritional value. Sargento is a brand that markets itself as natural, but not all their products fit that image. Pre-shredded cheeses, for example, also use anti-caking agents and preservatives to extend shelf life. While they may be less processed than Kraft or Velveeta, they still contain unnecessary additives that reduce the natural benefits of cheese. Freshly cut or block cheese from the same brand is a much better option, showing how even within a single company, quality varies drastically. Cheese Whiz is another major name that people often mistake for cheese. It's closer to a liquid cheese-flavored spread than actual dairy, packed with sodium phosphate, artificial flavoring, and preservatives. Cheese Whiz can cause serious health issues if consumed regularly. High phosphate intake has been linked to weakened bones and kidney stress. The artificial ingredients offer no nutritional value. It's a product of food science, not agriculture. Borden American cheese is another processed type loaded with preservatives and unhealthy fats. The excessive sodium content gives it that familiar salty bite, but at the cost of heart health. Eating such products frequently contributes to hypertension and fluid retention, especially in people already prone to blood pressure problems. Similarly, Happy Farms from Aldi uses low-cost synthetic stabilizers to mimic texture, giving it a waxy finish instead of the creamy feel that real cheese should have. Lucerne, a brand found in many Safeway stores, may appear natural, but its processed slices and shreds often contain high levels of sodium and questionable additives that affect digestion. Their milk sources also tend to come from large-scale factory farms, which means the cows are often treated with antibiotics and growth hormones. These substances can remain in trace amounts within the final product, subtly influencing your body's natural balance over time. Finally, even respected brands like Tillamook aren't immune when it comes to their processed lines. Their natural cheeses are excellent, but the processed slices contain added oils and gums that dilute the purity of the cheese. It's a reminder that brand loyalty isn't enough. Reading the label matters more than the logo. These 9 brands dominate supermarket shelves, but what they offer is convenience at the expense of authenticity. Their products may melt perfectly and taste consistent, but they deliver artificial ingredients, excess sodium, and unhealthy fats in every bite. What appears to be a harmless addition to your sandwich or burger can quietly chip away at your long-term health. By recognizing these names and understanding the reality behind their ingredients, you give yourself the power to make better choices. Not just for your taste buds, but for your heart, gut, and overall well-being. Processed cheese has become so common that many people no longer question what's actually inside it. It's easy to assume that if it tastes good and melts well, must be fine. But the truth is, processed cheese is a carefully engineered product designed for mass production and long shelf life, not for nourishment. Its impact on your health goes far beyond just calories and fat. It influences your digestion, metabolism, heart health, and even your energy levels. The real problem is not eating cheese itself, but consuming the highly altered version that's been stripped of its natural benefits and replaced with chemicals, fillers, and artificial fats. One of the most harmful aspects of processed cheese is its excessive sodium content. A single slice or serving can contain more salt than you'd find in an entire portion of natural cheese like mozzarella or Swiss. This high sodium level doesn't just make the cheese taste more addictive. It forces your body to retain water and work harder to maintain fluid balance. Over time, this can lead to bloating, dehydration, and a gradual rise in blood pressure. For people who eat processed cheese daily, whether in sandwiches, burgers, or ready-made meals, the constant sodium overload puts significant strain on the heart and kidneys. High sodium intake is one of the leading causes of hypertension. Processed cheese quietly contributes to that risk every day. Then there are the unhealthy fats. Natural cheese contains healthy fats that your body uses to absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. It also provides conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which has been linked to improved metabolism and reduced inflammation. Processed cheese, however, often replaces these natural fats with hydrogenated oils, vegetable oils, and trans fats. These artificial fats give cheese its smooth, uniform texture but wreak havoc inside your body. They raise bad cholesterol LDL and lower good cholesterol HDL, increasing your risk of heart disease and arterial plaque buildup. The fats also interfere with hormonal balance and can contribute to chronic fatigue, because the body struggles to digest and metabolize them efficiently. Another hidden danger lies in the phosphates and preservatives added to processed cheese. Ingredients like sodium phosphate help the cheese stay creamy and prevent separation when melted, but when consumed regularly, they can disrupt the body's calcium balance. Phosphate overload has been associated with weakened bones and joint problems, especially in older adults. Can also interfere with kidney function, since the kidneys must work overtime to flush out excess minerals and additives. Over time, this can contribute to kidney disease or mineral imbalances that make bones brittle and teeth more prone to decay. The impact doesn't stop at the physical level. Processed cheese also affects your gut health. Unlike natural cheese, which contains beneficial probiotics from fermentation, processed cheese is heated and treated so extensively that any good bacteria are destroyed. In their place are artificial stabilizers and preservatives that can irritate the gut lining. These additives can trigger inflammation in sensitive individuals, leading to bloating, gas, and discomfort after eating. A poor gut environment weakens your immune system, affects nutrient absorption, even influences mood and focus. So while you may think you're enjoying a comforting meal, your digestive system is struggling to handle the synthetic load. Another issue is the deceptive way processed cheese alters your sense of taste. Because it's engineered to be salty, creamy, and instantly satisfying, conditions your brain to crave more of it. The high sodium and fat combination triggers dopamine release, creating a reward response similar to junk food. Over time, this dulls your sensitivity to natural flavors, making fresh cheese, vegetables, or whole foods seem bland by comparison. It's a cycle that keeps you coming back for more, even though your body is getting less nutrition every time. And while all of this is happening, the vitamins and minerals that make natural cheese beneficial are either missing or heavily reduced. Calcium, protein, vitamin B12 are often present in smaller amounts due to dilution with fillers and oils. So you're eating something that looks like cheese but lacks the core nutrients that make cheese valuable to your diet. That imbalance can lead to deficiencies over time, particularly if cheese is a regular part of your meals. Processed cheese might seem harmless, but the combination of high sodium, artificial fats, phosphates, and additives creates a slow, cumulative effect on your health. It doesn't make you sick overnight. It erodes your well-being gradually. Every bite adds more strain to your heart, kidneys, gut while providing little nutritional benefit. It's a quiet trade-off between convenience and long-term vitality, one that most people don't notice until the damage has already begun. After hearing about all the hidden dangers of processed cheese, it's easy to feel discouraged. But the good news is that not all cheese is bad. There are still brands that take pride in traditional cheese, making methods and put quality, health, integrity first. The difference between bad and good cheese often comes down to how it's made and where the milk comes from. The two brands that stand out for their purity and nutritional value are Organic Valley and Murray's Artisan Cheese. They represent what real cheese should be: simple, honest, and full of life. Choosing these brands doesn't just improve your diet, changes the way your body responds to dairy altogether. Organic Valley has built its reputation on producing cheese that's as close to nature as possible. The cows that produce their milk are raised on organic pastures, free from growth hormones, antibiotics, and synthetic pesticides. This matters more than most people realize. When cows are allowed to graze freely on grass, their milk becomes richer in omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, which help reduce inflammation and support heart health. The flavor of the cheese also deepens, becoming more complex and satisfying without the need for artificial enhancers. Organic Valley's cheeses are crafted through time-tested aging processes rather than industrial shortcuts, which means the nutrients remain intact and the flavor develops naturally. Each block or slice from Organic Valley contains only a few recognizable ingredients: organic milk, salt, cultures, and enzymes. There are no emulsifiers, colorings, or preservatives hiding inside. That simplicity makes it easier for your body to digest and absorb the natural calcium and protein found in real dairy. For people who experience mild lactose sensitivity, organic cheeses like these are often easier on the stomach because the fermentation process breaks down much of the lactose. What you get is a food that nourishes instead of irritates. You can taste the difference too. It's clean, creamy, and rich without being greasy or artificial. It's the kind of cheese that complements your meals rather than overwhelms them. Then there's Murray's Artisan Cheese, a brand that celebrates the art of traditional cheese making. Unlike factory-produced brands, Murray's sources from small-scale dairies and independent cheesemakers who follow authentic European methods. Their cheeses are aged naturally in controlled environments that allow flavor and texture to evolve without the interference of chemicals or accelerants. This careful aging process allows beneficial bacteria to thrive, turning each bite into a source of gut-friendly probiotics. These natural microbes support digestion, strengthen immunity, and help balance the body's internal ecosystem. Benefits you'll never get from a processed cheese slice. Murray's also focuses on transparency and sustainability. The milk comes from farms that prioritize animal welfare and pasture-fed systems. This not only improves the nutritional quality of the cheese, but also supports more ethical food production overall. Their products contain no synthetic additives or artificial stabilizers. Each variety has its own distinctive flavor, from nutty aged cheddars to creamy bries and tangy goat cheeses. This diversity allows you to enjoy cheese in its purest form without compromising your health or your values. Both of these brands remind us that cheese, when made correctly, is a powerful source of nutrients. Real cheese contains calcium for strong bones, vitamin B12 for energy and nerve function, natural fats that keep your hormones balanced. It's also rich in protein, making it satisfying and energizing instead of heavy and greasy. The key difference between these artisanal brands and the mass-produced ones lies in the ingredient list and the care behind every step of the process. Real cheese doesn't need marketing tricks or bright packaging. Its quality speaks for itself. Switching to these healthier brands can also have a noticeable effect on how you feel. People who replace processed cheese with natural varieties often report better digestion, less bloating, and more stable energy levels. That's because their bodies are finally getting real nourishment instead of synthetic fillers. The natural enzymes and probiotics in these cheeses work with your body instead of against it. The fats are more easily metabolized, and the nutrients are more bioavailable. Even your skin and mood can benefit when your diet includes cleaner, more natural sources of dairy. In the end, brands like Organic Valley and Murray's show that cheese doesn't have to be a guilty pleasure. It can be a wholesome, satisfying part of a balanced diet when it's made with respect for nature and tradition. These aren't just better tasting cheeses. They're a return to what cheese was always meant to be: pure, nourishing, full of real flavor that comes from the earth, not a factory. When it comes to cheese, the real lesson isn't to avoid it completely, but to make smarter choices about the kind you eat. Cheese itself isn't the problem. It's how we've allowed food companies to transform a natural, nourishing food into something overly processed and harmful. The truth is, your body thrives on real food. Real cheese, made from clean ingredients and traditional methods, offers valuable nutrients like calcium, protein, natural fats that support your bones, muscles, and hormones. But processed cheese, with its fillers, additives, and synthetic oils, does the opposite. The final takeaway is to return to simplicity, to choose real over artificial and quality over convenience. The first step to making better cheese choices is learning to read labels carefully. Most people glance at the front of the package, where words like natural, made with real cheese, or wholesome are printed in bold letters. But those terms are often marketing tactics. The truth hides on the back label. A good rule of thumb is this: if your cheese has more than 5 ingredients, it's probably not real cheese. Look out for words like emulsifiers, phosphates, cellulose, or milk protein concentrate. These are signs of heavy processing. Real cheese doesn't need them. It should contain only milk, salt, cultures, and enzymes. Maybe a few spices or herbs if it's flavored. Anything more is unnecessary and likely harmful in the long run. Another key point is to be mindful of how cheese fits into your overall diet. Even the best cheese should be eaten in moderation. It's rich and dense, so a little goes a long way. When you eat small portions of high-quality cheese, you get the satisfaction and nutrients without the excess fat or sodium. Pairing cheese with whole foods like vegetables, fruits, or whole grains helps your body balance its nutrient intake and prevents you from overindulging. The problem with processed cheese is that it's designed to make you eat more. It's salty, creamy, and addictive. Real cheese satisfies you faster because it's made from authentic ingredients your body recognizes and processes naturally. Switching to organic or artisanal cheese might seem like a small change, but it can have a real impact on your health. Within weeks of reducing processed dairy, many people notice less bloating, fewer breakouts, and improved digestion. That's because your gut microbiome starts to heal when you remove artificial additives and replace them with foods that contain natural probiotics and enzymes. Natural cheese, especially those that are aged, contains beneficial bacteria that support digestion and immunity. Processed cheese, on the other hand, sterilized and pasteurized to the point where no living cultures survive, leaving it nutritionally empty. Making the switch doesn't have to be expensive either. Buying a block of real cheese and shredding it yourself often costs less per serving than pre-shredded options full of preservatives. Farmers markets, local dairies, small grocery stores often carry high-quality cheeses made from grass-fed or organic milk. Supporting these producers not only benefits your health but also encourages better farming practices that are kinder to animals and the environment. You get a product that's fresher, cleaner, and far more flavorful. It's also worth exploring different types of natural cheese beyond the standard cheddar or mozzarella. Soft cheeses like goat cheese or feta are easier to digest for people with mild lactose intolerance. Aged varieties like Parmesan or Gouda have complex flavors and higher nutrient density. When you choose these over the processed, plastic-wrapped slices, elevating your meals with real taste and nourishment instead of artificial flavoring, the experience of eating becomes more enjoyable and mindful, helping you reconnect with food in a positive way. Ultimately, the goal is not to create fear around cheese but awareness. You deserve to know what's in the food you eat every day. The difference between processed and natural cheese might seem small, but over time, it adds up. Processed cheese silently contributes to inflammation, fatigue, and poor digestion, while natural cheese supports your bones, gut health, and energy levels. Choosing real cheese is a simple yet powerful act of self-care. A reminder that your body functions best when it's fueled by real, whole foods. So next time you're in the dairy aisle, pause before you reach for convenience. Look for authenticity instead. It's not just a better choice for your health. It's a step toward reclaiming the purity of what food was meant to be.